How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today with a very special video discussing the final chapter of My Dress Up Darling, as well as the epilogue that got released today. If you guys didn't know, the final volume of My Dress Up Darling was out in Japan today, and in that volume it included both the epilogue of the story as well as the extra chapter that we had been promised for a couple of months now, ever since the final chapter released back then. Well, guess what? Now we get the definitive final chapter as well as the epilogue to the story, and I can't wait to let you guys know my thoughts about it. Now, before I go any further with this, chapter slash epilogue, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Dress Up Darling content, as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this review. So this chapter starts off in a pretty interesting note where we actually catch back up a little bit of a flashback where we see pretty much from the looks of it, the day that Gojo and Marin told Marin's dad about their engagement, or how Gojo proposed. And we see that pretty much Gojo is like he's pretty nervous because he's like, oh, I don't know, I already proposed to Marin, but I don't know, I haven't told your dad yet. And we see this whole back and forward when Marin's like, why are you even tripping? Like, he loves you and all, like, he always hangs out with you, he thinks you're a great guy, like, there's nothing to worry about. And you see Marin, and you see Gojo respond to that. He's like, yeah, I know that, but like, still, you're his daughter, and I can only assume that, it means so much for him that, his daughter is going to be, someone's wife, and, she's maturing, and, she's become a true woman now. So he's still, very nervous, but he's like, I have to do it face to face. And Marin is like, oh, she starts fangirling about it, and she like eventually gets all over him and kisses him, and it was just very sweet, very wholesome. And you see the reason is because obviously Marin, because Gojo's like, oh, I told you not to do it in public because like, it's very embarrassing. And you see that Marin is like, oh, I don't care, like, listen, I can't control myself. If I think you're so cute, I can't help but to show how cute you are. And one of those, ways that I show it is by just being all over you. And you see this panel where Marin's just like kissing him, and it's very sweet, very cute. I'm definitely going to use that as a thumbnail. But we see pretty much after that is that eventually you see where Gojo tells Marin's dad, like, hey, you're going to be my in-law now. And he is absolutely delighted by the whole situation. He's extremely happy, and I don't blame him. Listen, if I had a daughter, I would want her to marry someone like Gojo. That's just a thing of fact. Like, Gojo is the Giga Chad. He is the gold standard, and I think that anybody would be lucky enough to get a Gojo in their life. So it was really sweet seeing him. How happy he was seeing that Marin and him are gonna be together, and he even tells him like a little bit like, hey, going forward, you gotta take care of her, just like I told you back then. Like, just look after Marin for me, please. And this is a sweet moment where Gojo's like, this is the second time, and I think the dad tells Gojo, like, this is the second time I've told you this, to take care of her. And you see Gojo being like, yeah, and then you see Marin being like, question mark, like, huh, what's going on? Because she obviously wouldn't know any insight of all this. But we see that pretty much as all that is going on, we see that pretty much Marin is telling like Gojo, like, hey, thanks to Amane, it seems like she's been able to, hopefully pursue her modeling career going forward. How she introduced her to somebody like an agent in her agency, like the boss is probably going to be able to get her some gigs in modeling. And Marin seems to be focusing in like actually going full on with modeling. And if you've seen the final chapter, though, the one that was released before this, we obviously know that she does become like a successful model, and why not? So this is just a little bit of insight and gives us a little bit of context on how all of that came to be. And we see that pretty much as all that is going on, she tells Gojo and her dad, like, hey, Gojo, obviously you're gonna save some money for the wedding and why not, and obviously to like, I don't want to be a hindrance, so I'm also gonna like, tell my boss eventually once I start working full time, once we graduate, from college, that I want to maybe cut some hours down so I can like, take care of some house duties like cooking and stuff. And this is the moment where the chapter just goes off the rails, and it's just hilarious because we see as soon as she says that, Gojo starts, Marin's dad is like, oh no, like she's gonna be the one cooking for Gojo. It's like, oh man, God bless his soul. And you see Gojo like sweating, like my man is stressed out, and he's like, oh yeah, that sounds delightful. And you see Marin is like, well, no, I don't like, why you giving me that face? Why you giving me that tone of voice? And you see her like go full gremlin mode, and you know, she just like chibi Marin, and she's all mad, and she's like, hey, I'm talking to you, be honest with me, why are you not like, why are you being like this? Tell me the truth. And this was all hilarious because the dad is like, oh man, poor Gojo, you know, he's gonna like, because we all seen how Marin cooks, you know, does she cook food that is disgusting? No, but it's extremely unhealthy to say the least. So he's very worried about Gojo's health, but you know, obviously if she's gonna be cooking all the time, so she eventually tells her like, hey, make some food, make me vegetables, just vegetables, don't put anything on it, just straight up vegetables. And Marin's like, okay, sure, no salt, seasoning, no salt, nothing like that. It's like, no, just make me vegetables, please. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to accommodate for Gojo, because obviously he's trying to keep a healthy balance in his diet, obviously by eating some vegetables. And Marin is like, oh, okay. And she's like, oh wait, like we gotta put some meat in this, right? And she like dumps a whole pound of meat or something. And this is where the dad is like, oh no, she's inherited my cooking skills, like, you know. And because obviously the dad, he's like, I try to raise her not to be like me when it comes to my cooking skills. Because apparently the dad, you know, he just doesn't really care too much about how he cooks. He just makes like a bunch of unhealthy stuff and like eats it if it's delicious. So now we know, like, you know, we have an idea of why Marin is the way that she is when it comes to cooking. So he's like, I guess I can't change them, you know, right off the get-go. You know, it's one day at a time. I think as they're eating in the table, you know, chewing their food. And it's just very funny. Like, you see the dad is like disappointed. Marin's just eating. She's like oblivious to it. And Gojo's just eating like, oh, well, that was worth a try. And then after that, we cut to that was, I think, the extra chapter that, you know, Fukuda had talked about. And then we get to actually the epilogue section of the story, which was very great and very fascinating. And the reason was because we jumped a huge time skip. And the first panel we see is like a name being like Nichika. And it's the grandpa holding like a piece of paper with that name on. And then we see that, you know, apparently there's a birthday cake. And this birthday cake is going to be delivered to Gojo's grandparents, or grandpa, should I say. And we see that this, you know, Gojo's talking to somebody, and we find out that that somebody is his daughter. We get introduced to Gojo and Marin's daughter. Her name is Nichika, and she's adorable. She is very cute, very, like, she's just just seeing her made me super happy, because I was like, yay, they got a kid. And we see that pretty much Gojo, you know, is doing fatherly things, because we see that she's very like the complete 180 of what Marin seems to be, which, you know, Marin was always outgoing, very outspoken, and it seems like their daughter is more kind to Gojo. She's way more Gojo-like, because she's very shy, and she's very like timid from the looks that we saw in this chapter. And because Gojo's like, what's wrong? He's like, oh, nothing. It's like, what, you don't want to go to grandpa's like to deliver the presents? Like, I don't feel like it. And we see that he's like, what is it? Are you like nervous? It's like, no. It's like, are you shy? Like, is that what it is? And she's like, yeah, you got me. And, you know, it's as Gojo just like comforts her, and we see Marin like literally just like kind of holding herself from that laughing looks, from the looks of it, because she's like, in her inner mind, she's like, oh my god, these two are just so alike to each other. And it's still ambiguous how much of a time skip it's been. We do know that obviously the grandpa's still alive. We obviously see that their daughter's able to walk. So if I had to speculate, she's probably like, I don't know, anywhere from the age of 3 to 5, maybe, at least from what I saw in the chapter. And the chapter ends where, yeah, they seem to be going to celebrate the grandpa's birthday. Or I believe her birthday. I could be. The point is, they're celebrating someone's birthday. She wrote her name. I think she is giving it to the grandpa, though. I think that's because it was like written in the cake and why not. But yeah, the chapter ends with that, and that's how the story concludes. We see that Marin and Gojo, you know, they both get married. They have a kid. Grandpa's still alive, which is great to see. You know, loved seeing that. And yeah, what a journey has it been? You know, 115 plus chapters. And we finally get see the finale of these two love bugs, as well as, you know, this weekend we get the season 2, which stay tuned, because I will for sure be reviewing the episodes as they come out for season 2. So make sure to subscribe and, you know, pay attention when I upload my reviews. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about the final chapter of My Dress Up Darling? Did you guys love the ending? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more My Dress Up Darling, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.